Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with another kind of special raids video in a way. Here recently, I just kind of got into the mood or idea, I guess you could say, of trying to collect original pressings of the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne's early albums. I've had pretty much all of his stuff for a while now, and the ones that I have are the reissues of the time when I first got into Ozzy, which had like the colored background with a little square with a little artwork on it and stuff. And I wanted the original pressings so I can get the bigger artwork and also to hear how these albums actually sounded back in the day. And I've been able to find a handful of them, starting off with the one that started it all, Blizzard of Oz from 1980. This is an original first U.S. pressing on Jet Records, which I got for like $4, believe it or not, on eBay. Lineup here, you got Randy Rhoads on guitar, rest in power, Bob Daisley on bass, who has been a longtime contributor to Ozzy's band between bass playing and, production work, songwriting. And then finally, Lee Kerslake on the drums, who is most known for being in Uriah Heep. Of course, the big three songs off of this album are Crazy Train, which seems to get played at like every fucking sporting event ever. Mr. Crowley, and of course the controversial Suicide Solution. All three of those songs get regular airplay on the rock stations around this area especially. I have heard No Bone Movies and Goodbye to Romance every now and then, but those three always seem to get the radio play. And solid debut. And of course they followed it up with Diary of a Madman in 1981. This is the first pressing on Jet Records. Again, got this for a really good price. Same lineup as the Blizzard era, though they added Johnny Cook on keyboards, even though he is not credited. And in fact, the booklet in this does not have any credits whatsoever, which is kind of odd. But then again, around this time, there was some legal issues between Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake for not getting the proper credits and, royalties from these. Later, they actually credited the playing to Rudy Sarzo and Tommy Aldridge, which of course is incorrect. But regardless, another solid release. The first three tracks alone, Over the Mountain, Flying High Again, and You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, get regular airplay on the radio stations around here. I really love the bass intro to the song Believer, and the follow-up, Little Dolls, has this really cool militaristic style drum beat that I absolutely love. But yeah, another solid album here. Next up, we have The Ultimate Sin from 1986. This is again a first press on CBS Records. Here you have Jakey Lee on guitar. This was his second and final performance with the band. Phil Soussan on bass. This was his first and only appearance. But the funny thing is, he only played on this one album with Ozzy, but he co-wrote the big hit from this album, which is Shot in the Dark, and he actually brought that song in with him when he came to the band. So to only appear on one Ozzy album and to have that big hit single from it, pretty cool in my opinion. And finally, you have Randy Castillo making his debut on drums here. This again, I think this is a damn near flawless album. It's got a couple songs I'm kind of about, but they're still really good. But my favorite tracks, without a doubt, Shot in the Dark is number one for me. I also really like Secret Loser. That's a close second. And I actually was on a soundtrack to one of my favorite 80s kind of sci-fi, cheesy sci-fi movies, The Wraith. So that's pretty cool. Of course, the title track, Ultimate Sin, and Killer of Giants. A lot of really good songs on here. There's not really a truly bad song, but really solid album. And it's actually tied with the next one as being my favorite, or it's pretty close. I would actually say this next one is probably my all-time favorite Ozzy album. That is No Rest for the Wicked, which came out in 1988. This is, again, a first CD press on CBS Records. Here you have Zakk Wylde making his debut on guitar, and of course he's been a longtime guitarist for Ozzy on and off. Bob Daisley actually played bass on this, and I've actually had that wrong for years, because when I got this, I didn't really notice Bob Daisley's name in the credits because it's smaller than the others, and he doesn't appear in any of the band photos. But if you watch the music videos for all the singles off this album, you see Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath in those videos playing the bass, and he did the tour for this album. So of course in my mind I thought Geezer Butler to play bass on this, and I've been wrong all these years. It was actually Bob Daisley, Randy Castillo on drums yet again, and this is probably my favorite Ozzy album ever. All kinds of good songs. It's damn near flawless in my opinion. Miracle Man, Crazy Babies, Breaking All the Rules, Bloodbath in Paradise, Fire in the Sky, Tattoo Dancer, Dance For Me Bitch. Love this album. Definitely go check it out if you've not heard it. And finally, we have No More Tears, which came out 1991. This is the second CD pressing on Epic Records. Same lineup as No Rest for the Wicked, though they added Johnny Sinclair on keyboards and Mike Inez on bass. Bob Daisley is in the credits of this one, in the actual credits. He did play bass on this, but in the band photo, it only shows Mike Inez. And in fact, John Sinclair is not even in the photo lineup, though he does get credit as far as I know. The big hits off of this one, of course, the title track, Mr. Tinker Train, and Mama, I'm Coming Home. You'll hear those on stations around here. Honestly, this is a good album, but it is far from my favorite. And I think the main problem I have with this is some of the songs go on a little too long, I think. But overall, it's still Ozzy Osbourne. Still good stuff. But yeah, if I'm going to reach for an Ozzy album, it's probably going to be one of these two overall. So, yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.